So this morning I checked my mailbox and I got a package from Electronic Days, which I am so beyond excited to show you guys what was in it. I was going to do the usual kind of unboxing videos that I do where I show you opening the packaging and everything, but it had my address on it. I didn't want to dox myself. So, you want to know what it was? I'm really excited. So Jordan sent me a custom Tamagotchi Paradise shell that he made by hand, as well as this very cute charm to go with it. I am so beyond excited, you guys. I cannot believe how gorgeous it is. I thought today we would not just admire Jordan's incredible work, because honestly he's the most talented Tamagotchi virtual pet shell case accessory maker that I know personally, but I also thought that we would actually put it on a purple Tamagotchi Paradise that I have handy. So let's do it. First of all, let's take a closer look at this very special custom shell. The shell is a translucent pink with golden sparkles and a yellow connector at the top with yellow buttons and a yellow dial. My 2Level brand colors are pink and yellow, so it's really awesome to have them on a Tamagotchi Paradise shell. Additionally, Jordan also sent along these very cute twin angel gotch charms that he made, and they are also pink and yellow. So for this project, I needed a Tamagotchi Paradise, 2 small dishes, and of course the shell. When I took the shell out of the packaging, it felt incredible. The first thing I did was inspect it to make sure all of the pieces were there, and then I opened up my new Paradise. I have been running a pink land version this whole time, so I thought it would be cool to do something a little bit different. My next step was to add a screen protector onto my new Tamagotchi device. So in this specific case, Jordan's custom shell actually came with a plastic screen, which made the process so much easier. Next, I separated all of the custom shell's pieces so that I could see everything laid out together. And again, I did not have to actually swap the screen like I had for my Tamagotchi Uni shell because Jordan had already added that piece. To remove any dust or prints, I used a special screen cloth to wipe everything away. And then I got to work on actually adding the screen protector, which was really not that difficult. In case you're wondering, I got this screen protector from Japan You Want Tamagotchi. This was before the tariffs, so I'm not really sure how expensive they are nowadays. I would definitely say they're worth it though, because they are durable and they go on so easily. If you're unsure whether to use a screen protector on your Tamagotchi Paradise, I would say you absolutely should, because the screens, from what I've heard, scratch very easily without one. Anyway, this is about the time where I started taking apart my Purple Sky Tamagotchi Paradise. The first thing I did was remove all 4 of these screws and put them on the dish right next to me so I would know where to find them. Pro tip, try to put the screws on the dish in the same order that they were actually on the Tamagotchi. For example, the screw on the top left, put it on the top left of the dish. I always do this instinctively because sometimes certain screws make certain indents in plastic, and you always want to keep the same indents when you put them back to not wear anything out. If you forget to do this, it's really not the end of the world or anything, it's just something I like to do. So with all the screws removed, I was able to remove the first piece at the top. So the reason why I went with the purple Tamagotchi Paradise for this is because I figured that the pink insides would be perfect to use with my pink translucent shell that Jordan just gave me. So in the inside of the Tamagotchi Paradise, there is a connector at the top that must be removed, as well as the dial piece, which is on the left. Something I will definitely warn you though is that there are pieces within the dial that are very delicate and extremely important, so please try not to lose them. There is a small spring as well as a tiny piece that resembles a sword. Anyway, you just don't want to lose these because that's actually how you use the dial. After putting these pieces in the second dish, I was able to remove the guts from the Paradise. And by guts, I mean motherboard. Next, there are small rubber conductors on the buttons, so we're going to have to remove those in order to put them on the custom shell. These are super tiny and they can easily get lost, so again, proceed with caution here. What's awesome about the Paradise is that the way that the plastic is molded will keep the buttons in perfectly, so you don't have to worry about rotating them or keeping them at a certain angle or anything, because they'll just fall that way. You'd actually be surprised at how many Tamagotchi devices do not have something like this, so this was a welcome surprise. Anyway, make sure that you keep the conductors on the buttons properly. Again, they might fall off a couple of times while you're doing this because they're tiny and there's nothing really to attach them securely other than just force. course. But yeah, this process really was not that difficult. I was done within a few moments. So after tier 1 was completed, we re-added the motherboard into the new shell. This piece also should just kind of pop into place, if that makes sense, because it's molded just to fit. Also, that little screw at the top, it will fall out a bunch of times, so you've been warned. So the next part is probably the trickiest part so far, so just, take your time with it. So the most important tip I will give you today is that you want to put the screw into the dial before you try to put the dial and the sword piece back in. And obviously we also add the connector before putting the top back on. I spent a ridiculous amount of time messing up because I didn't realize that you were supposed to put the screw in first in the dial, so you have been warned. Now that the back is back on, we can re-add the screws, and because I put them in the dish earlier in the same order that I took them out, it should be super easy. Once the screws are back in the back, I also recommend trying to put the batteries in just to test the device before you put the back cover on. Especially if this is your first time doing something like this, you just want to make sure that everything is working on the inside before you seal it all up. I tried pressing the buttons a few times and also moving the dial around, and then I added the batteries to see if it would actually work. And thankfully, everything was completely functional. For anyone trying this process at home and you're having issues, I would recommend not putting the back cover back on before you make sure that everything is functional, and that includes the dial, because the dial is a little bit tricky. Sometimes it will not work and you have to take it apart and re-enter the sword piece and the spring. Again, always make sure to put the spring in first, then the sword piece, and then connect them together onto the actual motherboard. And then that's it. My new Tamagotchi Paradise was ready to go.
So that is my Tamagotchi Uni that Jordan made me a few years ago. And now here is my custom Tamagotchi Paradise that Jordan made now. It's really cool because you could see how they definitely influence each other. It feels like we're another generation up, and it's super exciting.
Okay, so that took about a half an hour to an hour, give or take. I was also going very, very slowly because I have actually never taken apart a Paradise before because they just came out. I am the kind of person that really enjoys taking apart my Tamagotchi devices and learning how they work and the mechanisms inside. I also really like customizing stuff, so this was fun. This was a learning experience. I really, really am obsessed with the final outcome here. I mean, oh my goodness, this is the coolest shell. Oh, oh my gosh. So I thought I was obsessed with my Tamagotchi Uni shell, which I am, and I literally wore it every single day for like 2 years. And this is amazing too. I'm so excited to run this. Oh, so, what I will say about taking apart a Tamagotchi Paradise is that it is not that difficult. I think of all the Tamagotchis I've taken apart recently, I did a teardown of the connection, I did a teardown of the uni multiple times. What I will say is that the most difficult part for me, anyway, was figuring out how this part worked, because as you know, you need to be able to press down on this button on the small dial here in order to access the lab menu. And I was having a little bit of trouble with that at first. It turns out I'm just dumb and I put it in upside down. There's like a little spring, and then there's also like a little piece that goes underneath the spring, and I put in the piece upside down. So that's on me. But I will say this is not that difficult to take apart and play with. If you are someone that is not very skilled, this isn't terrible. So, in case you wanted to know. I am just so thankful to have friends like Jordan who are artists who are able to contribute to our community in ways like this. I mean, this is something that I could never ever do myself, and I'm willing to bet that plenty of other Tamagotchi community members also probably couldn't make something like this. If you enjoy Jordan's work like I do, please consider giving him a follow. His account on pretty much every platform is Electronic Days. He also has an online shop. He makes everything by hand, though, so it's not always super stocked. I know that that's something that a lot of people reach out to me about, and from what he has told me, it's because, he also works a full-time job and he makes these by hand, so he stocks when he can, when he has pieces available. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. And I just want to give a huge thank you once again to Electronic Days, who made another masterpiece. I can't stop staring at it. This is amazing. Honestly, I'm so excited and I cannot wait to make content with this paradise because it is just so me. If you enjoyed today's video, consider liking, subscribing, all of that fun stuff. And if you're already subscribed to my channel, thank you. When you do support me, really goes a long way and it helps me make more content like this. Anyway, see you guys next time. Bye! Jordan sent me a custom Tamagotchi Paradise shell in the cute little. All right, let's try that again.